Hey everybody, well I've had so many questions about how to make my salad jars that I've shared on my Instagram stories that I decided to make a video so I can answer all the questions in one shot. And for other people who are interested in making salad jars, you have all the information in one place. So the first thing is, the reason why I make salad jars as opposed to putting them, cats are not allowed on the counter. So the reason I put them in jars instead of in plastic containers or plastic bags is the glass seems to keep fruits and vegetables fresher longer. And actually, a few years ago, my son and I did a science experiment where we stored an apple, like a sliced apple, in a plastic bag and in a jar, and the one in the jar lasted much longer. It didn't brown as quickly. So I make them in jars. These are the jars I use. These are the pint size. They're the sharing jars by Ball. And I just like the shape of these. You can really buy any kind of pint size jar you want. If you want to make a big salad, you could use a quart. Just adjust this to fit your needs. The other thing that I use is a plastic lid, and you can get these in the canning section at Walmart. Target has them too, but they're gray. I kind of like the white lids. They're also cheaper at Walmart. They come in a bigger pack. These are just easier than fiddling with the metal lids that have two pieces. So I like to use these lids, and I use the same thing for making soup jars as well, so that we can have soup and salad stocked for lunches and quick dinners for the whole week. The second key to the salad jars is using really fresh ingredients. You don't want to put in salad that's been languishing in your fridge or like lettuce that's been languishing in your fridge for a few days. You don't want to use it if it's slimy. You want to get a big bin of lettuce that is nice and fresh. So we're going to start off by putting the lettuce with clean hands, make sure you wash your hands first, into the bottom of the jar. And you can pack them in tightly. This is a good time though just to double check your lettuce, make sure it's in good shape, it's not too wet. If it is a little on the wet side, then I would suggest spreading it out on a couple of paper towels just for, not too long, and let it dry. I've got another cat on the counter. Gotta go wash my hands again. Okay, we just got these cats not too long ago, so we're still training them to not be on the counter. So I'm gonna stuff quite a bit of lettuce in these jars. And packing them tightly, not only do you get a more generous salad when you're ready to eat it, but it also keeps the ingredients from shifting around, which is important because we're also going to add the dressing. And you don't want the dressing to dress the lettuce before you're ready to eat it because it'll get soggy. So I'm making up, I usually make maybe 5 to 6 jars at a time, and they'll last about 5 days to up to about a week. 5 days is generally pretty good, so I try to make like 5 or 6 at a time because that's what I'll eat within that time period. Okay, so our jars are mostly stuffed with lettuce here, and then I'm gonna add in some carrots. And these are just pre-shredded carrots. You can always cut up carrots or put in carrot chips or whatever you like. The key to the toppings is to only put in ingredients that are dry. You don't want to put in, like I love cucumber and avocado on my salad, but I add those the day of. And you can eat the salad as is, but if you want to add things that are wet, like sliced tomatoes, cucumbers, avocado, I would suggest adding those when you serve them. Then I'm going to add in some chopped broccoli. And again, just add in whatever you like as long as it's a dry ingredient. I also wouldn't add nuts or seeds to this yet because they'll get a little soggy. So I would add that later. Okay, and then Lastly, I have this little mix of kale and cabbage, Brussels sprouts. I'm going to add some of that in just for a little variety, a little bit of a different texture. I like adding broccoli slaw in these as well. That's really good. And all of these dry ingredients, these other vegetables that are a little bit, even these lettuces like kale that's a little bit hardier than the baby lettuce, they all act as a kind of a buffer between the salad dressing and the delicate lettuce. Okay, and then we're gonna top it off with the dressing. I really like, I think it's Tessemae, that's how you say it, the organic creamy ranch, and this is Whole30 approved. It's a little bit oilier than other dressings, like other ranch dressings, so give it a try, but I've come to really like it. It's very herby, and like I like having those herbaceous notes in my salad. Okay, so you add on the dressing as much or as little as you'd like, and then screw on the lid, and then store the jar upside down in the refrigerator. And you want to store it upside down so that the dressing doesn't drip down the jar into the more delicate lettuce. The other reason why you want to arrange the jar this way is then when you're ready to eat it, so you don't eat it in the jar. It's too tightly packed. You're not going to be able to stir it all around. It's going to be frustrating. So what you do is you dump it out onto a plate or a bowl, and when you dump it out, the salad, the lettuce in there, will clean out the dressing that's around the rim of the jar. I also will put some on a fork and kind of scoop any extra dressing out of the lid, and then you're good to eat your salad. You can add any other toppings on it, like if you want cheese, nuts, seeds, anything like that, and if you want to add avocado, cucumber, sliced tomatoes, then you can add those at that point. So there you go. That's how I make my salad jars.